Hey guys, V. Rigoni, Max, high performance real estate entrepreneur. So what we're going to be talking about, what are the 5 things that keep people poor? You want to stay poor? Then do this. You want to become financially free? Start thinking different, start doing different. Before we do that, let's smash the like button, let's subscribe to the channel, and when you're done listening to this thing, leave some comments, some questions. Happy to get back to you. So, what are the 5 things that keep people poor? Well, let's just start right from the beginning. Student loans where they owe $150,000, $200,000, $300,000. I mean, I was watching a Dave Ramsey episode. Dave's all about no debt. This girl calls up. She's 29 years old. She's got $300,000 worth of student loan debt. And her husband, who's 32, has $120,000, $125,000 worth of credit card and other debt. So together, at about an average age of 30, they're sitting there with over $400,000 worth of debt. And we're not even talking about a mortgage here. That's freaking insane. You want to stay poor? Just do that kind of stuff. Now, do you have to just be big on student loan debt? No, there's other ways. But student loan debt, especially if you're going to school and you're going to school to get a degree in something that won't pay back the debt. You know how many people go to school for music? How many people go to school, get a bachelor's degree in the humanities, and they rack up at these private schools like a Loyola where they're paying $60,000 a year. And they're paying these huge tuition, and they come out of these universities, these colleges, with giant debt, and the job and the degree in which they have is going to get them a job that's going to start them at a starting salary of $45,000 or $50,000 a year. Well, how the hell are they ever going to pay that off? As far as I'm concerned, what they charge you for tuition should be directly proportional to what the degree will earn you out in the real world. Otherwise, to me, it's a complete scam. In no other way would we go into debt and then have such a result. It's one thing to go into that kind of debt. You come out as a dentist, you come out as a doctor. I know you come out as a lawyer and you can actually do something with that degree. If your degree isn't going to directly pay that back within a reasonable period of time, and what do I consider reasonable? Between 5 and 10 years, depending upon what you want to do in your life. Otherwise, you just put a yoke around your neck. Run into people. Literally, when I was a financial planner, I ran into people that literally had student loan debt at 56, 57 years old. That's insane. There is no financial freedom with that. All right, so be careful of that student loan debt. It's a big killer right out of the gate. All right, so what's another one? Credit cards. How should you handle credit cards? The way I handle a credit card, I have about 5 of them because I like to have that capacity. I use one and I pay it off every month. Now, I know everybody you know will tell you the same thing. Oh, that's what they do is they pay off all their credit cards. Well, then why is there over $1 trillion worth of credit card debt today in America? The question is, on any given day, where is there more debt? College loans, student loans, or in credit cards? And who do you think has most of that credit card debt? You think it's people above 50? No. Most of that credit card debt is coming from people who are between the ages of 18 and probably 50 years old. That's crazy. Not only that, what kind of interest are you paying back? Because what do people do when they get credit card debt? Well, they start paying the minimum balance, right? And it'll take you 30 freaking years to pay off that debt at a minimum balance. And then what do? They put their lunch on there. They go to McDonald's. It takes them 10 years to pay off that hamburger at about a 24 to 27% interest rate. Wouldn't you just love to get that kind of return on your money? Instead, you're paying it out. I see people that are carrying $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 worth of credit card debt. They got $50,000, $60,000 sitting in the bank, and at the time was earning 0.25%. And they've got to ask me, should we pay off our credit card debt? In what world are we living? You want to stay poor? Then keep the credit card balances on there, pay the 24% in interest, and then earn 0.5% or now 3 or 4% in your bank account. It'll help you stay poor. What's another thing besides that? Car payments. Does it take much to jump from credit card to car payment? No. People have gotten to the point where everybody believes they should be driving a really nice car. You go back to the 70s and 80s, you should have seen the rust bucket people drove around back then. Not that way anymore, folks. What are the kind of cars you should be looking at? That'd be like your Toyotas, your Nissans, some of your American-made cars that have really good track records. If you're not spending money for a big car and you're not spending a lot of money on repairing the car, that gives you money to do what? Invest your money. Don't go out and spend 35 or 40 or 45. Spend 7, 8. Get a used car. Pay it off as fast as you can. Don't let your car stop you from your financial freedom. And so what's another one? Putting too much money in your investment portfolio, your 401k plan, your retirement plan. What do I mean by a retirement plan? I'm talking about your 401k at work, because they've told you put as much money in your 401k, which in the beginning, yes, do you want to put at least enough in there to get the match? If they're offering you a 2 or 3% of your income match, definitely stick the money in. Why? Because from their perspective, it's free money. From my perspective, well, you're going to work, you're earning it, and they're just giving you as a benefit. You want to put that 3% in or the 4% in of your income so they get it. But if you put every dime of your available liquidity into an IRA, into a 401k, then what are you going to do to get your financial freedom? Where's your seed money going to come for you to be able to buy that business, to be able to buy that piece of real estate? They've got you figured out. Haven't you figured that out? They've been telling you since about 1986 to stick all your money into the retirement plan, all the money you can get into the IRA. People in the financial practices, they love it. All of these big companies, they all love you. You're the best. Why? Because they make a shitload of money off of your money. There's trillions in there and they're making billions. You need to have liquidity in order to invest. So if you want to stay poor, put every dime you've got into your 401k or into your IRA. So what's another biggie? Lifestyle, baby. Everybody believes they deserve the lifestyle of their parents or their uncle or their aunt or their grandparents. They want the big lifestyle. Everybody's got their social media person that they see who's got the big lifestyle. What people are exposed to is driving them to feel like as if they got nothing if they're not living large. And so what they do is they start living large off the credit. That's a problem. People are putting all their money into their lifestyle because they've got to keep up with what's going on, because you started out with Facebook, right? You go on Facebook, see what other people are doing. Since you went to school with them, you can't have them doing that and you're not doing it. So now you're doing it. It's kind of like a lifestyle creep that you're not even aware of. But it's 10 times worse. It's 100 times worse now than it ever was. And don't get caught into the toy trap. What do I mean by that? Well, because now you can afford a payment on a snowmobile or a four-wheeler, or now you can afford a payment on a boat. You want to spend a lot of money? Buy a boat. I own a marina. I can tell you, you're always fixing them. You're always putting gas in them. You're always paying for a boat slip. You're always paying to get it cleaned. And there are people out there that can afford a boat. They're financially free. They're not going to work to pay for their boat. The amount of money that people drop on vacations that they can't afford. Now, if you're financially free, then take the vacations. Why? Because somebody else is paying for them. It's coming off of managed or passive income. But if you're going to work every day and now you're taking the money that you should be using to put into the kinds of investments, to buy the businesses, to buy the real estate, and instead you're sticking that into multiple vacations a year, that's how you stay poor. Let's just kind of go over this again. How do you stay poor? Huge student loan debt, coming out with degrees that don't have any impact on your income, that don't give you the ability to pay those student loan debt back. Huge credit card debt that you're not paying off on a monthly basis, and then it's accumulating. And it's getting bigger and bigger. And then you start moving balances from one credit card. You open up other credit cards to move the balance over. Oh, and what does that do? Well, that leaves the other credit card with no balance. So now the new one's full. So what do? You start filling up the first one again. So credit card debt will do it. Putting too much money in your 401k plan that doesn't give you any liquidity to do any other kind of investment, to be able to buy a piece of real estate, to buy your first rental property, to buy your first business. Because you got all your money stuck in there. And if you take it out, you got to take out all kinds of penalties. Car payments. People got a $600, $700, $800 car payment or more, and they're making $60,000 a year. That's insane. That's a problem. So don't let your car keep you poor. Otherwise, what are you doing? You're working for your car. And then your lifestyle keeping you broke, because you're spending too much money to keep up with the Joneses, to keep up with the people on Facebook, to keep up with the people on Snapchat. You're spending too much money, because what happens to all this stuff? It's all crap. That snowmobile, those vacations, they have no value after the fact. Oh yes, you got memories. That's good. Enjoy them, because you're going to go to work for 40 years to keep paying for it. You're going to go to work for 40 years to pay the interest, to pay the juice on the credit cards, on the student loans, on the car payments, on the lifestyle, giving every dollar over to Fidelity or whoever it is that's running your 401k plan, because that's the path you're on. If you want to get off that path, if you want to stop the path of being poor, then let's start to do something different. And how do? We have to start to think big, start small, and grow fast. V. Ragone, Max, high performance real estate entrepreneur. By watching this channel, by implementing what we're talking about here, you can stop being poor and you can start moving towards financial freedom. Talk to you soon. Let's get out there. Let's make it happen.